Hello, welcome friends. Tonight we are doing Unwind yoga, and we're getting closer to the solstice and it's still quite light outside. So I thought we'd have a pretty bright Unwind yoga. So no worries, you can always get an eye mask for later if it's still bright out where you are. All right, so let's get started. First thing I want to do is we're going to start with just two things standing up, and then the rest will be down on the floor, some on our back, some on our front. So let's start. We're going to stand up. So what we're looking at tonight is, or whenever you're watching this to unwind, because you can unwind other times, we're going to do some lymph drainage. So we're going to do a little bit of inversions, no headstand, shoulder stands, or anything like that, but just having the head below the heart or the legs above the torso. So that's what we're going to do today. But first, we're going to start out with standing up. So here we go. And we're going to do something that, let's see, okay, that's good. That is great for that. Your immune system. So we're going to shake. So it seems maybe feels a little silly, but shake the arms and shake one leg at a time. Unless you're seated, then you can do both legs at the same time and shake the body. And what this does is all that lymph is going to drain towards the heart. So we're just kind of giving it a little, arms can go up, legs. And that's going to help it clear out of the body. All right. So you can do that as long as you like. Pause the video, keep going. But we're going to go into our first pose. And it's the only one we're going to do standing. But here we go. So we're just going to hinge the hip, fold over. And if you can reach the floor, that's fine. If you are... have a chair handy and you want to put your arms or your head on the chair, that's fine. And we're just going to go just as far as is comfortable. You don't even have to go to your full expression of a forward fold. Just head below the heart. And you can let the arms dangle. And the head can dangle. You can grab opposite elbows. And just, again, as far as is comfortable, maybe not quite as far as that. A little softness in the knees. And just check in with the breath. See how this feels. If it's too hard to breathe like this, come up a little bit higher. That's okay. You don't have to go down that far. And maybe take an inhale and a hard exhale out the mouth. And again, inhale. Nice hard exhale. Let's do one more breath like that. Inhale. Hard exhale out the mouth. And again, you can stay here a couple more breaths if you want. If you're ready to come out, you can do that. But when you're ready to come out, we're going to bend the knees. You can bring the arms out to the side or to the hips. Push in with the feet and come back up. All right, so now we're going to get down on the floor and we'll do a couple of counter poses in between some of these longer holding poses. So the first thing that we're going to do is our legs up the wall. So I have a wall over here, but I'm going to go just up in the air. And I like to do a small blanket under the hips, so I'm going to do that, but you can do it just flat. Or you can go a little bit deeper, and I'll show you that option as well. And that's where your hips go up even higher. So it's closer to a shoulder stand. All right, so the little bolster, legs up towards the sky. Feet are up, and then the arms can be out towards the sides. So if you want to bring the hips up a little bit more, you can get the hands up under them. You can do like a little bit of a jackknife. That's what we call that. Or if it's part of your practice to do a shoulder stand, you can do that. But we are working towards unwinding. So we don't want to get the heart rate up. We want to bring it down. All right. So let's take a couple breaths here. And you can let the feet point towards your head or towards the sky, or just have them be relaxed. Again, unwind yoga. So you want it to be gentle and relaxed. So we can stay here for a few more breaths, letting gravity do the work of unwinding. And let's take 2 more breaths. And then we're going to come out. So we're going to bend the knees, bring the knees in a little bit. And then I'm going to put my feet down and move that blanket. And then we're going to do some UPP, or LOL, sometimes we call it. So we look like an L shape and then an O shape. So we're going to bring the knees back into the chest. That's an exhale. On the inhale, bring the legs back up, arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. Inhale into that L shape. Exhale, O shape. Nice. And let's just do a couple more. Just a little counter pose for having the legs up the wall. Excellent. And then we're going to roll over onto one side and come up to seated. And from here, then we're going to come all the way over into a child's pose. So for your child's pose, you can make it comfortable. So if you have a pillow or a blanket and you want to bring that in, you can. If you're fine all the way on the floor, you're welcome to do that as well. So I have this big bolster, knees out wide, bolster in as comfortable. And then just because we're going super unwind here, I'm going to just put this on top of my bolster. So if you have blankets, pillows, whatever you want to find, that works great. All right, here we go. So just folding over, coming into a child's pose. And if you want to come down to the floor, you're welcome to do that. So you can go one side at a time, or forehead down. Since I built this up, I have space for my head. So finding what is comfortable for you today. And this is a great pose to bring your attention to breathing into the back body. So probably can't see in the video, but that's okay. Just close your eyes and imagine that the breath is moving the back. So the shoulder blades and the spine. And just relax into it. And if you can't feel that, don't worry. Just keep the breath going. There's no right or wrong if you're relaxing. So if you have your face in one direction, we're going to turn and go to the other side. And then when you're ready to come out, we're going to come up into a tabletop. So if you've used any props, move them out of the way. And then we're going to come to our table. And let's just do a little cat and cow here. So we're just going to exhale into our cat. And then round the opposite direction into cow. And just go ahead and move with your own breath here. A couple of times each direction. Beautiful. All right, next, let's come into a supported fish. So using a blanket or a block, you could do that. A big pillow is fine too, whatever is most comfortable. So for our fish pose, I'm going to do it like that. We're going to come over and sit on one side, and then we're going to come onto our back. All right, so this is what we're doing. We have the chest is open. You can, if it's comfortable for the shoulders, tuck your arms under. So the back of the head, kind of almost the top of the head is coming towards the floor. So you can come up even higher and then come back. But again, we are unwind yoga, so make it comfortable. You don't have to strive to be in the pose. And in fact, I'm just going to release my arms out. And you can have the legs extended if that's comfortable on the back, or I might just leave my legs like this. So my feet are wide, knees come in towards each other. So it's relaxing for my lumbar spine. So again, it doesn't have to be the perfect picture of what the pose is supposed to look like. We've got the upper chest opening, shoulders relaxing, neck is supported, and everything is relaxing. So let's just take a couple of smooth and easy breaths here. All right, I'm finding this maybe a little bit too relaxing, so I think that is my cue to move to the next one. So we're going to do kind of a big counter for this. We're going to do a forward fold. But to come out of this, I'm going to do windshield wiper legs first. Get some movement in that lower spine, all the way down to the tailbone. And I'm going to roll over to one side and then use that upper arm to push up to seated. So coming up nice and slow. And then we're going to come into caterpillar. So again, I like the bolster to do this. You can come into it however is the most comfortable for you. If you're comfortable, just going to hinge at the hips and just fold forward just as far as is comfortable. So I like the bolster, so I'm not pushing down too far. So I'm just going to stack this up. Let's stack it up even higher tonight. All right. So forehead is going to come down to my arm. Your forehead may come down to your knees. If that's comfortable, great. If it's not, don't do it. There's no pressure to look a certain way in any pose. But again, we're going to do that back body breathing. So breathing into the shoulder blades and that back rib cage. And again, take as long as you need to adjust and get comfortable. I seem to not be very comfortable in this pose tonight, but that's okay. Not every pose feels great every time. There's a lesson in there somewhere. And then when you're ready, we're going to come on out. And again, if you love that pose and you want to stay longer, pause the video and stay in it. It's a great pose for unwinding. All right, next we're going to come into supported bridge. So depending on how supported you want it, big pillow, small blanket, blocks, or maybe not up off the ground at all, but we're kind of looking at this as a bit of an inversion. So if you can come up a little bit, that's great. If not, again, no worries. We are not striving to get anywhere in particular. So come on back onto the back. And let's see, I think I'm going to do just the blankets instead of the big bolster. That feels comfortable for today. Very nice. All right, so I have the edge of the blanket at the top of the pelvis. And it's not very high. Like usually you have a bridge pose that's way up here, but we're just doing a little bit. So, or I am. Again, do what works for you. So arms down by your side, or maybe like I'm up overhead. Get a nice stretch in these lymph nodes under the arms. And again, take your time to come into comfort. So we've got the chin towards the chest. The feet are lined up with the knees and the hips. And you could even bend the elbows, do little cactus arms here, or if you like, extending the arms, feel that lengthening. But the most important thing we want to do with our unwinding is breathe. And 1 or 2 more breaths here, whatever feels right. And then if you have any props, we're going to move the props out of the way. So push in with the feet, slide that out of the way, and then we're going to come back down. And now our counter pose. We're going to do a couple apanasanas here. So that was a back bend for our bridge pose. So now this is our counter pose. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to do one more pose before Shavasana. So we're going to bring back, we're going to go back to the legs at the wall. So if you want to bring your legs literally up on the wall, you're welcome to do that. You can do that jackknife, or I'm just going to do legs up in the air. And I just did a little bit with the blankets just to be a little bit higher, but not too high for this round anyway. So my feet are relaxed. Keep my head looking straight up towards the ceiling. Don't put any pressure on the neck. Shoulders are relaxed, arms out by my sides. They can be closer to the body. However that works for those shoulders, this is the right spot for me. And again, just coming back into that breath. And then let's come on out. Let's go bend the knees. Bring the feet down to the mat. Lift the hips up, slide anything out that you have there. And then we're going to come into our Shavasana. So, blanket, I'm going to do a blanket under my head because I think that will feel better. And what I do is I kind of roll a little bit under my neck so my neck is supported. Arms down by my sides. Feet are relaxed. I'm just going to let them flop on either side. Letting go of the breath. Letting go of holding on to the earth. Gravity's got you. Letting go of thoughts. If they do arise, that's okay. It's normal. It's expected. But a way to kind of work with that is just acknowledge that's a thought. And then see if it will just go away on its own. And just letting the body melt into the earth. And just take the next few moments and just be. And again, you are welcome to stay in your beautiful relaxation pose as long as you like. You can pause the video or stop the video and just stay here as long as you need. Otherwise, when you're ready, we're going to gently bring our attention back into the room. Wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe roll your head side to side. And then when you're ready, and with an inhale, we're going to roll over onto your right or left side. And again, when you're ready, and with an inhale, pushing up to a comfortable seated position. And to bring breath back into the body and find us safely on our way. Well, maybe at home and he's staying at home, and that's perfectly perfect. But let's finish with a beautiful lotus breath. So the pinky and the thumb stay together. We're going to inhale, fingers open, exhale, closed. 4 times. Here we go. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Inhale. And exhale. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. And namaste. Thank you for joining me, friends, and we'll see you again soon.